OMN is a triangle. P is the point on OM such that O to P is 1/4 of O to M. So that's telling me that this must be 1 part and this must be 3 parts. We're then told that Q is the midpoint of ON, so that's in the middle. R is the midpoint of PN, so that's in the middle. We're told that O to P is the vector P. Straight away, that's going to allow me to say that P to M is going to be 3 times that, so 3P, which will mean, if I need it, the vector O to M would be 4P, the P plus the 3P. We're also told that the vector O to Q is the vector Q. And given that Q is the midpoint, I can also say that Q to N would also be the vector Q. So overall, the O to N would be 2Q. Right, we are asked to work out, in terms of P and Q, the vector M to N. So M to N looks like this. Now, I don't know what that looks like immediately. So instead, I'm going to go from M to O plus O to N. Now, the M to O, I know that's 4P, but in the opposite direction. So minus 4P. The O to N, I know that's equal to 2Q and in the same direction, so just plus 2Q. And that can't be simplified, so that's my answer for MN. We're now asked to work out P to R. Well, P to R, I know that is going to be half of P to N. P to R here will be half of the vector P to N. So if I can work out P to N, I can half it to get P to N, to get P to R. So P to N, what would that be? Let me just clear up this diagram a little bit. So P to N. P to N, I could do P to M plus M to N, that would work. The P to M is 3P. And the M to N, we worked that out a moment ago, was minus 4P plus 2Q. So simplifying that, the 3P minus the 4P is minus P, and then we've got the 2Q. So this is P to N. P to R will be half of that. So half of the minus P will be minus 1/2 P, and half of the 2Q will just be Q. And so that's my vector for P to R. Right. For part B of this question, it says, use a vector method to prove that QR is parallel to OP. So I need to show that one of QR is a multiple of OP, or vice versa. Now, OP, we know what that is. We were told that in the question. That's vector P. So I just need to work out what QR is going to be and hopefully show it's a multiple of P. So QR. To do that, let's mark that onto my diagram. Again, let me just tidy up my diagram a little bit. So Q to R is this vector. To do that, I'm going to go from Q to O plus O to P plus P to R. The Q to O, I can see that's the same, but in the opposite direction to Q. So minus Q. O to P, that's the same as the vector P in the same direction. And the vector P to R, well, we worked that out a moment ago, so I'm just going to use that answer. Excuse me. Now to simplify that, we've got the minus Q plus Q, so they're going to cancel out. Then we've got the P minus a half P, which is a half P. So that's my vector Q to R. And I can now say that Q to R is half of the vector O to P. Therefore, QR and OP are parallel.